So somebody asked me, kind of just an update, what do I think of COVID and vaccines? Should Christians take a vaccine, all of that? Well, I'm in France this week. 2 or 3 days ago, the president of France, Emmanuel Macron, basically, things are really bad, basically kind of decreed that every healthcare worker, every public service worker had to have a vaccine by law. And basically everybody else in the country, that if they didn't have a vaccine, they couldn't go into any public place. I'm talking about into a shopping mall, into a store, into a cafe, into a restaurant. So here they're really just strong-arming people, forcing people in a way to have that vaccine. So what do I think of that? I think you get these two ditches on either side of this subject. So anybody who comes to that vaccine thing saying it's 100% safe and there's nothing to worry about and it's absolutely perfect, I don't think any sensible scientific person would say that. But I think there's also a ditch on the other side of the subject as well, about people projecting conspiracy theories and, Bill Gates and chips and all this kind of stuff into that subject. And what do I think of vaccines, big picture? I think thank God for them. I'm really glad there was a polio vaccine. I'm glad for penicillin, all of these kind of things. I think science is not anti-God. Science came from Christianity, okay? So I don't think there's anything to be scared of per se in a vaccine, and yet at the same time I don't think it's wrong for people to say let's look and see and evaluate our own risk. Let's see what, I think everybody's in a different situation, and what I would like to see, both in America, here in France and other places, I'd like to see an adult conversation, but seriously, a grown-up conversation about these things where we can be honest that there are side effects, because there are side effects with everything. Anything you ever take, there's going to be a side effects, but there are benefits as well, and that we look at those. I think the conversation, let's say, about giving a child a vaccine is a completely different conversation than a conversation about giving an 85-year-old vaccine. And to pretend these are the same things, everybody has the same risk. So I think any kind of dialogue, and I've heard Christians say some silly things recently that, if you have a vaccine, it's against faith, you can't believe in healing. That is just nonsense. Let me say that again, that is nonsense. I've never met anybody who doesn't go to the dentist, okay? Or, medical science is not wrong. What's wrong is when we have our faith in these things rather than God. So I want to have my faith in God, but I want to travel in a plane, or have my faith in God or travel in a car, have my faith in God, but go to a dentist, or all these kind of things. So I don't think there's any shame or blame in those things. I think people should pray. It should be a personal decision, and be informed, pray, and not be bullied. Don't be bullied by people trying to force you to take a vaccine. Don't be bullied by the tinfoil hat brigade saying this is wrong and evil. Take an informed decision for yourself. Boom.